Namaste travelers, Tara here, and I'm with you today for the monthly reading for the sign of Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising for June 2016. We are almost a full week out with Mercury gone direct. Um, it actually won't be coming out of its shadow phase until June 7th, but you may already be feeling a little bit more, I don't know, free in your communications or things not feeling so heavy. We do still have these, what do you call it? Planets in retrograde. We still have, there's Pluto, Mars, Saturn, and I think there's one more. There's still like 4 planets perhaps. Anywho, I was doing a reading for somebody last night and I was like, the cards that came up, the next time that Venus and I think it's Mars go make a transit, and they're actually transiting today. They're squaring off, I think today. It's either that or Jupiter and Saturn. And I don't know. It's a whole bunch of stuff going on. I don't know what I'm talking about. So anyway, this is when those two, Mars and Venus, square off. It's typically fireworks. There's opposition. Somebody wants to fight and somebody wants to love. It's two opposite ends of the spectrum. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to do the Hidden Lotus spread. And we're going to see, this is a general reading, people. General means that the messages will resonate with some, not all. Some of it may resonate. All of it may resonate. None of it may. In which case you should come back and view your moon and rising signs as they are posted. They may have messages for you there. If you'd like to get more insight into your situation, a personal reading is best. I can tune into your own energies and read more into the situation. It's impossible for me to know exactly what's going on with all the millions of Libras in the world. So here we go. This is for June 2016. I can't even believe it. Here we go. Well, and that represents Saturn in Libra. Well. You can see that? Knight of Cups. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know why my lighting is so crappy. Hold on. Let me adjust the blinds. Maybe that'll help. Or let the curtains down or something. Let's see. That might help a little bit. Yeah, it's a little better. Okay. The cards that I have in the center, the focus is the Three of Swords. And as I was saying, this represents Saturn in Libra. And Libra is all about the fairness and the balance, being able to see both sides, being diplomatic, balanced and weighing up things. Saturn comes in to kind of smack you around and say, no, you can't even do that. Saturn is not a no. Saturn is like, maybe just not right now. Okay, because there's some work you need to do. Now, there's a lot of swords cards in well, not a lot, but there are 3 of, I don't know, I don't want to say negative, but there are 3 of the harshest swords cards here. So I do have the 3 in the center. Now, what this tells me is that this, whatever this situation is, there is some sorrow, some loss, some heartache, and some regret. Okay? It's as though perhaps maybe some of you went on a trip. I have this 8 of Wands. Can you see that? Okay. You had to take a trip quite suddenly, or you got some news quite suddenly that maybe you were hoping for, wishing for, but yet whatever this thing was, it didn't quite come out the way that you wanted it to or expected it to. It's almost like there might have been an element of surprise involved in this. Now, I can see that whenever this thing came in, because the Eight of Wands represents news, air travel, things happening quite quickly, quite rapidly, having to make fast moves or sudden decisions. It represents Mercury and Sagittarius. Mercury is all about quickness and speed, but we also know that he's a trickster and he's just coming out of retrograde. So if this hasn't occurred, this may be coming up for some of you Libra people. And for others of you, this is a situation that's already brewing. Okay, something that came up quite suddenly. And I can see that when the news came in or when you had to make this quick decision, you really did go wholeheartedly for this. We have the Page of Wands. This is typically a message coming in. But I can see that a lot of you were worried about something. There was something, I don't know, that gave you some anxiety or some fears that brought up some kind of ugly things or ugly emotions, repressed memories even. But nevertheless, you thought about it. Here we have the Seven of Pentacles. This is after, you worked hard to get wherever it was. And if this is like a work situation, it's like maybe you worked really hard and you're weighing up this new project or this new thing in which maybe you had to travel for. You got news about it and you're going to go ahead and do it. But you kind of had your doubts, okay? Nevertheless, you put your other things to the side so that you can think about how you're going to accomplish this. This is one of the watch and wait cards. Now I have two of these in the deck, in the spread. And then you decided, as the beautiful Librans that you are, my mom's a Libra. So the beautiful Librans that you are, out of all fairness, you're just going to go ahead and give it your best shot. Okay. You're going to do what's required of you. You're going to give whatever it is you got to give. Even if this is in a romantic relationship, you just decide, okay, let's say, for instance, you heard from someone out of the blue. And we do know that Mercury retrograde bring old people back. And the situation before didn't quite end well. Okay. Or it didn't end the way you expected it to. But nevertheless, it's like you get that second chance. So you're like, okay, I'm going to give it a try. All right. But for some reason, we end up here. This is the rock bottom card. Like, man, there's no place else really for me to go but up from here. This is the overkill, to me, the overkill card. But if you notice in the very background, although the sky in the foreground is dark, there's the sun coming up over the horizon. So this is literally the darkest before dawn card. So this card says that, not only was there some heartache and loss and regrets, and there were some fears and perhaps repressed memories or some, some doubts. It turned out where you ended up being extremely disappointed. Okay. And typically with these swords, this is either perhaps maybe your expectations were too high, and or the communication between yourself and the people that were involved in the situation, it's like it went right back to where it was before, like you really lost no time. Okay. And you're very hurt by this. This is the wounded card, the card of perseverance. You're very wounded, and it has caused you to put up your defenses here. Okay. And take a break from this. You're having to step back and reassess perhaps the situation. But there is something new. And I'm not going to say that this is a new, it can be a potential new lover on the horizon. Okay. But it's also an offer to gain a new, fresh emotional perspective. All right. Going forward. And almost, I can't ignore this beautiful Nine of Cups in the center of these two cards. So I have to, I have to say that perhaps you will end up getting your wish. It's just not coming the way that you thought it would. Okay? I'm going to look at these cards. The Nine of Swords, the Three of Swords, the Ten of Swords, and the Nine of Wands. And that's, I have three nines here. Now, I don't know what that means. Let me grab my thingamabob and see what three nines mean in a tarot spread. I know it, but I don't know it off the top of my head. So let's just see what the three nines mean. All right, bear with me a second. Okay, in just a regular situation, say if this is a friendship or work situation, okay, we're gonna first look at that. The three nines mean good luck and or a surprise windfall. So see, like I was saying, whatever this thing is, there's something sudden about it. And no matter how this played out, it's like you still end up getting your wish in whatever manner that means. Now, if this is a romantic relationship, it is talking about an important relationship lesson is being successfully integrated. So perhaps you had to go through this thing, give it that old college try one more time in order to understand the dynamics of the situation and really identify what the issues are, either what can be worked on or what needs to be let go. It's not the death card, okay? So it's not as though it is a complete transformation. It is simply going to be, because after this we get the ace, all right? The 10, we get the ace of swords, and that is recognizing the truth, realizing the truth, and being able to communicate the truth. Let's go ahead and look at, I think whatever this is, it escalated quite quickly. This card represents the first week of June. This is the second week of June. So as I say, if this has not occurred for some of you, this situation may be coming up. For some of you, it may have started back at the beginning of May. We know that this is when Mercury went retrograde into Taurus. This represents Moon in Taurus. We also had the Moon was in Taurus last month and is now in Gemini. This card represents Saturn in Taurus, and it represents the second week of May, from May 11th to the 20th. So here, the Moon in Sagittarius, maybe this goes all the way back to last year. Okay, someone coming back from last year, like it's unfinished business. And maybe this is what you had to finish, you know? All right, let's take a look first at this, the first card that came out, which is the Three of Swords. Indeed, there was some sadness over some stupid things said, okay? Or you got news that there was something, somebody did something that didn't make any sense to you, and it really did upset you and hurt you, disappointed you. Now look, I want you to look at the imagery of those two cards. Both people are crying, all right? Or this is the tears, the dispiacere. And this indeed has to do with some type of union or relationship, one that was very, very important, be it a work relationship or a personal romantic relationship. This is a very, very highly important relationship, one that was positive in some aspects, but yet we end up with the tears, okay? The Ten of Swords, the card of giving up, rock bottom, closure. The Gran Signore, the Sacerdote, and the Casa. And to me, what this says is someone has, after perhaps trying to come back together, this person has decided they choose to remain single in whatever manner that is, or they choose not to participate in something to do with security, because even though that's the Kaza, it looks like a bank. So if this is a work situation, maybe it is that you applied for a job or you did an interview and then the people contact you back and say, nah, you know, we're actually going to go with someone else. This is how this could play out in either or of those situations. The 9 of Wands, indeed, you went in with high expectations and high hopes of some positive events coming out of this, but you ended up being surprised by the fact that that it didn't go well. Okay. And that, you know, that Libran energy there is always about fairness, always trying to look at things from both perspectives. And sometimes, you know, even though you do that in the spirit of just your giving nature, a lot of other people perhaps may not appreciate that. And perhaps that's what this lesson is about, is that you know, share that gift with someone who's going to appreciate it. Now, we do have the card underneath, the 3 of Swords. It's a hidden lotus spread. Look at there. Okay. This is an air sign. We know that. Typically, he represents Aquarius. However, if it is not another air sign that you are dealing with, then it is someone who has this particular stance. Someone who is cold and distant and may not have any sympathy for what it is you're trying to accomplish, do, say, think, feel, as if the tears really make no difference. I think the person has made their decision and is sticking to that. But yet I have this. So don't fret, any Librans out there, because there is something new coming up on the horizon. You're going to have to, it's going to be a while, because as you can see, this knight, this horse is poised to step over that stream. And those are the emotions. You don't have a whole lot left. See how dry it is? So it's kind of like you're almost running on empty. And so maybe you need to stop for a second and take stock before moving forward. But once you move forward, there's some new opportunities coming in, emotional opportunities. This could even be love, and it's also a new offer. For some of you, this could be something coming from west to east, or it could literally feel like you're coming out of the desert. Okay, we can typically consider the western part of the United States anyway to be arid and dry, where you're going to be stepping across something that might be a little bit more to your liking. So that's what I have for you, Libras. I hope this message helps. Again, if you'd like some insight, more insight into your situation, you can come on over to the website and book a personal reading. Until next time, namaste.